We are recording and we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so um today's class kind of is just a continuation of last week. Oh, I told you we were gonna have a quiz, didn't I? I did. We'll have it at the end of class. So um this is kind of a continuation of last week or not last week, but on Tuesday's class. Um and just kind of finishing up a little bit of the concepts we're going to be teaching about. This will give you time to watch videos for chapter 1 and get ready for our first official lecture class next week. Remember, we do not have class on Tuesday. Okay.
Monday.
Right. No, but our class does not meet on Tuesday,
Oh, no.
right? Because Monday is Labor Day. And I like to keep my classes together. So if I don't have class on Monday, I don't have class on Tuesday. That's a Mr. Uminski thing. That is not an everybody else thing, okay?
I just
Go to your teachers and be like, Mr. Uminski said no class on
He
Tuesday.
told me. He told me.
No.
No.
That is a Mr. Uminski thing. I like to keep my classes together. So I'm not trying to figure out what am I teaching today. Whatever I teach on Monday is what I teach on Tuesday. Whatever I teach on Wednesday is what I teach on Thursday. Okay. So when Monday doesn't have class, we don't have class. And so that again is a Mr. Uminski thing only. I will post that in Canvas. Okay. So when I post that course calendar, you'll see that there's no class. It'll say Labor Day, and it's just because it's our Labor Day, since I want to keep my classes together. Okay. So you can still come to class if you want on Tuesday, right? You can still come if you want to. If you have questions you want to ask me, that's totally fine. I'll be here. I'll just be in my office. I won't be in the classroom on Tuesday. Okay. So what I would like you to do on a piece of paper, I'd like you to do these 10 math problems. You can use a calculator. Okay. We're not turning this in, no. But this is just for your notes. Okay. So 1 through 10, I want you to do these 10 math problems. Those of you who are online, you can see that. There is water in the back on the table. If we need more cups, I have more cups. You can stop yourself, you can use some water.
row number A, is that just how many questions it is?
What's that?
For row number A, is it just
Of which question it's what?
Yeah, that's the question number, correct. Column A, yes. So 1 through 10. Number 1 is gonna be 36 divided by 4. That's the division sign. The asterisk is the multiplication. All right, I'm gonna pause the recording just so we're not sitting in silence.
Yeah.
Bless you. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the easiest math you've ever done in your whole life, and 5 being like quantum physics, okay? How would you rate these 10 math problems on a scale of 1 to 5? How would you rate them? 1 being the easiest math you've ever done, and 5 is quantum physics. There should not be a 4. Okay, the max I'll let you do is 3.
2.
2, 3, 2, a 2. Because you can't do it without a calculator. Okay, that makes sense.
Not all of them.
I'll accept that. One being the easiest math means that you probably could do it all without a calculator. I'll agree with that assessment. Okay. This assignment or this assessment or this activity that we're going to do really is to introduce to you that all we're doing in this class is adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. That's all we're doing. Okay. But these numbers mean nothing until we put units with them, until we describe what those numbers mean. Okay. So I can easily do 36 divided by 4. That equals 9. But 9 what? We don't know. Okay. And so let's take a look and let's put some of these into context.
Did you unpause?
I did not. Oh, yes, I did. I did. Thank you for
Just wanna
reminding
make
me,
sure.
Drew. Okay. I did unpause. All right. So 36 divided by 4 is, we just discussed, is 9. So how many 4-ounce portions will we get from 36 ounces of salad mix? So now these numbers mean something. Okay. So 36, our unit is ounces. 36 ounces divided by our 4-ounce portion. And that equals 9 servings. Why do you think this is important when it comes to cost control as it relates to this class? So I know how much to order. Good. What happens after I've ordered?
You need to know the servings.
How many,
the
how much
portions.
waste?
I know how much portions there are. Okay, potentially waste. Okay, and then Sophia, you mentioned
Just how much you're selling.
how much we're selling, right? And the cost that's involved with it. But if I order enough to get 90 servings, right? So if I order 10 packages of salad mix, I need to get 90 servings. If I only get 89, well, I'm short 1 serving.
Mhm.
Right? So it helps us know how much to order, but then it also gives us an expectation of how much we need to actually get out the product that we're ordering. Okay. So it's 15 minus 13.
2.
Easy. That's a number 1. Let's even call that a 0.5 in the easy scale of math. 2. 2 what? Find out. If we yield 13 pounds from a 15-pound case of tomatoes, how much product did we lose in prep?
2 pounds.
We lost 2 pounds. So we start with 15 pounds, right? So our original case of tomatoes was 15 pounds. We subtract the 13 pounds yield, and that equals 2 pounds. So maybe we're doing a tomato concasse. We cord that tomato, cut our nice little X on the bottom, drop it in that simmering water. The skin comes off. We take the seeds out, the core, the skin, the seeds. Those all weigh something. Those are all part of that original 15-pound case. But am I selling the weight of those? No. I'm getting rid of 2 pounds. So that's going to help us determine how much we should sell our whatever we're selling for based on how much product we actually have at the end, the edible portion. Okay. Now, I'm going to preface this with we're going to go through a lot of different types of math in this presentation over these next 10 questions. You don't have to walk out the door knowing all of them. This is just an introduction to the type of math, and then we're going to go in and do a lot of stuff in more depth and more detail when we get to that chapter of the textbook. Okay. So I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed by these 10 problems. Okay. You're going to get there towards the end of the semester where we'll get through all of it. So same numbers, 13 and 15, but now we're dividing. What's our answer?
0.8.
8, 6, 7, like because 6 is repeating?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What is our percentage yield if 13 pounds of tomatoes remain from a 15-pound case?
86.7%.
So we're gonna do remember our
Percentage.
13 pounds divided by 15 pounds. And that equals 0.867, okay? Now, somewhere on your notes page, you will need this for your defining control assignment, which is your chapter 1 homework assignment. The universal formula for percentage. Percent equals the part over the whole. So the percent, when we're looking at percent, right? Percent literally translates to per 100. Okay? Per 100. And so what we're doing is we're taking the part, dividing it by the whole, and then we're going to multiply by 100. Oftentimes I leave that multiply by 100 off because how many zeros do I have in 100? 2. So I'm going to move that decimal place over 2 spots. Now, if it makes you feel nice and warm and fuzzy on the inside to type in times 100 into your calculator, do it because that's going to give you more confidence as you are learning. Once you learn it more, then you can skip that step, okay? But as you're learning, I want you to be as comfortable as possible. So this is going to be 86.7%. That is our answer. So that means that 86.7% of that case of tomatoes is left over after we're done coring, peeling, and de-seeding those tomatoes. Okay, that's what we call our percentage yield. Are we always going to buy 15-pound cases of tomatoes? No. What if we order a 40-pound case of tomatoes? We can take this percentage and figure out how much of that 40 pounds is actually going to be left over. Okay. So that's why this percentage comes into play and is helpful for us. Questions, comments, concerns so far? Part divided by the whole. So the part is 13 pounds that are left over. The whole is the 15 pounds that we started with. So the universal formula for percentage, if you ever see that you are looking for a percentage, the universal formula is the part divided by the whole. So if you can identify which numbers in the problem, which number is the part and which one is the whole, you can find that percentage.
And
then times 100. And that times 100 is what moves this decimal place over 2 spots. Because there's 2 zeros in 100. Good question. If we think about it, remember our cost control or our cost triangle, right? The cost is how much the ingredients cost me to make it. That's the part. The whole is how much I'm selling that entree for or that appetizer for. That's the whole and the part. And it's the division sign, division line, okay? 2,000 minus 1,500 is
500.
500. Excellent. So, I'm gonna find a place for this. There, I like it right there. That's perfect. Okay, so 500. So what is our profit if sales equal 2,000 and cost equals 1,500? We're going to talk about this in chapter 1, but the formula for profit or loss, right? Because loss is when it's negative. Profit or loss is equal to sales minus expenses. All right, sales minus expenses. We have to do sales minus expenses. Right? When you were learning how to subtract in second grade, what did they tell you? You always hit the bigger number up first, right? That can't happen. We can't put the bigger number first because if our expenses are more than our sales, then we're actually losing money. But if we use that mentality of the bigger number goes first, we may think, oh my gosh, I'm making all this money. But in reality, you're losing a bunch of money. Okay. So 2000 minus 1500 is equal to $500. In this case, what is our unit? We had ounces and pounds before. What is our unit now?
Dollars.
Dollars. And so how we represent that unit is with a dollar sign. Okay. These numbers mean nothing unless we put units with them. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns?
Which one is profit and which one is loss?
Profit is when it's a positive number, loss is when it's negative. So if our expenses are more than our sales, right? So let's do an example. I'll do it in red. Because red typically means a loss. Okay. So let's say our sales is equal to $3,000. Okay. And our expenses, by the time we paid everybody, by the time we paid for all of our food, our expenses was equal to $3,250. Okay. So when I subtract these, 3,000 minus 3,250, what is my answer?
Negative 250.
Negative 250. So that would be a loss. Sorry, that's a bad 5. That would be a loss. Does that make sense? Are we good? Yes or no?
So the expense is the loss.
Well, no, not the expenses, the loss. The fact that we spent more money. So think about it this way. Think about it from your personal perspective. Your sales is your paycheck. Your expenses are your bills. If you spend more money on your bills than the money that is on your paycheck, that means you're in the negative.
Mm,
That makes sense?
Yes. So meaning I lost $150 extra out of my total.
Outstanding. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So pretty much like, because sales and expenses fluctuate.
Yeah,
If you do that, depending on what comes out of it, it's either like, oh, you made money or you lost money.
correct.
So it's either profit or loss.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is probably my handwriting is not so great right now. But this right here is a dash, like profit or loss. So profit or loss is equal to sales minus expenses. Because your sales is going to fluctuate, your expenses will fluctuate. Okay. And so with the resulting answer, if it's positive, it's a profit. If it's negative, it's a loss. That's how we would describe it. Okay. Good question. Good conversation.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I just mean somebody logged in.
Thought someone left.
Thank
I was
you.
like, ooh, someone's in trouble.
You have a question?
Let me look to see. Oh, I see a chat. Hold on.
It's fine.
Not reading their chats. Dang.
Okay. We're good. Okay. Awesome. Number 5, 25 times 0.9. 22.5? Don't want to eraser.
It took me a while before I realized you weren't using an actual marker.
I
I was like, how's he doing that on the board? I'm old school, so I was like, witchcraft.
I was wearing my a metal cuff
Mhm.
and it kept like registering down here while I was writing up here. So I had to learn to not wear anything on this wrist. I don't get too accessories.
Mr.
All right,
Minsky, can you hear me
22.5.
now?
Yes, we can. Thank you so much. Did
All
you have
right,
a
thank you.
question? Okay, perfect. What is our expected yield from a 25-pound case of potatoes? Oops, I forgot a word in there. Or 25 pounds of potatoes with a 90% yield factor. Okay, so We've got our 25 pounds. And we're multiplying by 0.9. Now what you noticed, we've got a 90% yield factor. When we have 90%, I'm going to move that decimal place back over 2. And that's where I get the 0.9 from. Okay. Now, technically, that 0 still exists, but you don't have to type it in.
Like drop it off, basically.
Yeah. But again, if it makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside that you're doing the right thing and you want to type 0.90, go for it. Okay. So when we do that, we get 22.5 pounds. So we lost 10%. Okay, 90% is our yield, which means we lose 10%. So where does that 10% go? We're talking about potatoes. Where does that 10% go?
Waste.
It is waste. What kind of waste do we have when we were working with
Peelings.
potatoes?
Peels.
The peels.
If you're cutting a specific cut, you may not use all of the potatoes.
Yeah, if we're using a specific cut, right? If we want it to be nice and rectangular and a perfect julienne or a perfect, is baton one of them?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
trying
A or
to
something.
learn some new terms and incorporate them. We
Potato.
square off potato, yeah, exactly, right? But do we throw away those chunks that we square off?
They usually do.
No, but I mean, if it was your own restaurant,
Oh.
would you throw those
No.
away?
No, you
Make
could
some
utilize
mashed
it.
potatoes.
You might make mashed potatoes,
Potato
Yeah.
skin.
potato skins. That's how potato skins got really popular at TGI Fridays,
Hmm.
right? Is they just cut them off and then hollowed them out, and now they're an appetizer.
Rsto.
Or
Uh,
French fries.
French fries, yeah, absolutely. So those
Potato
little
chips.
tiny ends of the potatoes, they may not be used in that particular thing that you're working on, but doesn't mean that we're going to get rid of them altogether, right?
Chop them up and make them into hash browns.
Hash brown. Oh, that's a perfect example. Yeah, for breakfast. Okay, so that's how we could maybe take that 90% and maybe turn it into 95%. Right? Because you're probably not going to get 100% yield out of a 50-pound or 25-pound bags of potatoes. There's going to be some bad spots you're going to cut off, some brown spots.
The eyes.
Yep, the eyes if you don't want those. The whatchamacallit, when I was working at Chester's Hamburgers, you know how sometimes like in a bag of potatoes, like the end gets knocked
Oh,
off
yeah.
and it's like brown. So you just shave that little part off, right? But if I'm in a really big hurry, I may shave off like 2 inches when I really only need to shave off half an inch, right? And that extra 2 inches is more waste. So if I expect to get 22 pounds out of this bag of potatoes, and I only end up with 20 pounds because my prep cook isn't paying attention and being as detailed, then, or maybe I only get 20 pounds because I didn't use FIFO. And that bag sat there for a little bit and a lot of them rotted. Okay. So as a manager, you have to think critically. I can't tell you if you see this, this is the reason why that happened. You have to start thinking about, okay, why could this have happened? And start investigating and figuring out the actual reason why it happened. Okay. And so that's why it's important for us so we know if I need to actually make 50 pounds of French fries, am I only going to order 2 bags of potatoes at 25 pounds each? No, because what happens?
You make more.
If I have 50 pounds of potatoes and I need 50 pounds of French fries, do I get 100%?
No.
No. I need to order an extra bag so that at the end I can have actually 50 pounds of potatoes. Okay. I'm not going to cut all 75 pounds, but I am going to have some extra on the side. Okay. And hopefully potatoes aren't the only thing on my menu. I can use them in mashed potatoes. I can make a shepherd's pie. I can do whatever I need to do with those potatoes. Do baked potatoes with the remaining ones. Okay. So as a restaurant, your menu, we'll talk about menus in chapter 4. But as a restaurant, your menu kind of dictates what types of ingredients you're going to be purchasing. All right, 225 or 2.25 divided by 0.32 is 7.
0.03.
03125.
03
125.
125. Okay, cool. We'll put all the numbers up there for right now. Until we know what this number means. So here we go. What price should we sell our entree if the cost is equal to $2.25, and we aim to maintain a 32% food cost? Okay, so remember that triangle?
Mhm.
What was on the top?
Uh,
Cost on the bottom?
percent.
Percent and
Percentage.
Sales.
sales. Okay, so percent and sales. If our costs are $2.25, what should we sell our entree for? So we cover selling, and what's left over is cost divided by the percentage. So in this case, it's 225
Divided.
divided by
32.
0.32, right? Remember that 32, I'm gonna move that decimal place back over 2 spots.
Mhm.
So I can put it into my calculator as 32%. Okay. Some calculators, if you put in 0.32 and hit the percentage, it'll automatically move that decimal place over, right? To make it a whole number of 30. That's going to do that times 100 for you. But move that back over by 2 to get you so you can put it into your calculator. And we get 7. Now in this case, we're talking about dollars, right? Dollars and cents. So do we need this extra 125?
Nah.
$7.03.
Okay. In our class, we are going to round this up
Okay.
to $7.04. Okay. I know that normal rounding rule says if it's 5 or above, you round it up, right?
Mhm.
But in this case, this right here,
That's extra cost.
Percentage of
this
penny.
represents a part of a penny.
Hmm.
And if we add all those pennies up together, eventually this will equal 1 whole penny.
Yeah.
So the way to we combat that is to just go ahead and round it up to the penny at this point, regardless. Okay. So as we'll do this more in the project, the costing out project that we're gonna do. You're gonna round it up. If there's any third digit, we're gonna round up to the nearest penny. Okay, so this will actually be 704. How many of you have seen a menu item for 704?
Not for 704, but for
Yeah.
other things.
Okay, so maybe 725,
Yes.
Yeah.
maybe 750,
Yes.
Mhm.
right? And so
Yes.
this is just a mathematical way to figure out that you would maintain a 32% food cost. If we were to increase this to $7.25, okay, that's actually going to be helpful for us. We don't want to go down to $7 because then we're losing money, right? We want to go up. We don't want to go down. Okay. Let me go back. I just had a thought real quick. I had a thought about, is it this one? No, it wasn't that one. Wow. My thought went way back. Okay. So this one with 86.7%. When we do percentages, you want to have 1 decimal place. Okay. You want to have 1 decimal place with percentages. 86.7 and 86 are 2 very different numbers. Okay. And you may think, Mr. Minsky, 0.7 is not going to make that big of a deal. Right now, we're talking about 13 pounds and 15 pounds. But when we're talking about 1,000 pounds, that 0.7 is going to make a huge difference. Okay. Can we round it up to 87? Normal rounding rule says, yeah, that's above 5. We can round up to 87. Can we though in this situation?
No.
Why not?
This is part of your cost.
This isn't cost. This isn't money.
It's exact.
This is product.
Yeah.
This is tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to go up to 87% because if I go up to 87%, I'm going to think I'm going to get 87% out of that case of tomatoes.
It clicked. I got you.
Right? And so then I'm only going to order this much and I'm going to run out of product
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
because I'm going to miss out on 0.3 of a percentage. Okay. So we have to know what these numbers mean in order to understand, can we round up, can we not round up? Okay. So I just want to go back to this example just because with percentages, you definitely don't want to round up to the whole number. All right. Number 7, 4,500 divided by 15,000 is,
0.3.
okay, so 0.3. So what is our food cost percentage? So we're looking for percentage. What is the universal formula for percentage?
Parts over.
Part divided by the whole, right? Which one is the whole? Our sales was 15,000. That's the whole number, right? That's my income for that time, that pay period. So that's the whole. And then the part is the 4,500, the money that we spent on ingredients to make the food. And so when we do that, we get 0.3. And then what do we do for percentages?
Times 100.
Times 100. We're going to move that decimal place over 2 and fill in the gap with a 0. Okay. So my answer is 30%. My food cost is 30%. So you're going to need to be comfortable going from decimals to percentages and going percentages back to a decimal as you put them into your calculator, okay?
Okay, so in this case,
Yep.
we're dividing, okay, so we're going from 3.0 to 30. Right?
Well, 30%, right? Because remember the whole, the part divided by the whole times 100. Okay? So this times 100, that is this spot right here where I'm moving the decimal place over 2. If you get your 0.3 in your calculator, if you hit times 100, your calculator is going to move that decimal place over and it's going to fill in the gap. So you're actually, my answer is 30%.
So you divided the top and bottom right there, and you got the 3, right?
0.3.
0.3.
0.3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You just put the 0.3 into the hundreds place.
Mhm.
Move
I
it
moved
over.
the decimal place
Yes.
over 2. Yep.
Okay,
And that's the times 100.
okay.
Yep. There's something that a thought just popped into my head. Oh, I know what it is. I don't have to wait 4 slides to remember it. All right, so let me erase this. Oops. Erase this. Okay, cool. So here we go. This example right here, we were talking about the cost of one ingredient, right? And we're talking about the food cost percentage, but we get the how much we should sell one item for. Okay. On this problem, we're talking about all of the sales and we're talking about all of the food costs, not just for one recipe, but for everything that we spent for that entire time period. Okay. So that's why when we do this triangle, cost, percent, sales, this sales can be all the money or just what we're selling one item for. And the cost could be what it costs us to make that one item or the cost of all of our ingredients for a time period. Okay, so it's the same triangle. It just helps us get a better idea of what we're looking at, either one singular item or the whole entire menu that we sold. All right, 8, 9, and 10, they all kind of go together. Okay, so what is 15 times 0.4? 6. So in this case, how much of a 15-pound brisket will remain with a yield factor of 40%? So that means we start with 15 pounds.
6 pounds.
Exactly. So we multiply by that 0.40 from that 40%, move that decimal place over, And that is equal to 6 pounds. Okay. So I start with a giant 15-pound brisket. After I trim it, I smoke it, all the water evaporates, it shrinks down to 6 pounds. Okay, does this sound familiar?
Yes.
Class
Be a
that you-
mighty tough brisket.
Yeah.
Six.
Basic food prep. Okay, excellent. I'm glad you guys remember that. Okay, so now what do you think the 6 represents?
The yield.
6 pound brisket.
That's how much we have, the 6 pounds. What do you think 16 represents?
Ounces.
Good call.
Total weight.
Is how many ounces are in 6 pounds?
96.
6 pounds
Yes.
times 16 ounces is equal to 96 ounces. Okay. 6 pounds times 16 ounces is to 96 ounces. You guys follow me so far?
We're talking solid weight ounces, yes?
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
I keep forgetting he's there, so when he talks, it freaks me.
All right, so now 96 ounces. We're gonna just put this out here. 96 ounces divided by, oops. Divided by, I'm gonna go ahead and say 8 ounces is what?
32.
12. So 12 servings. That's your answer, right? 96 divided by 8 is 12?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So now let's look at this problem. How many 8-ounce portions will you get from a 15-pound brisket with a 40% yield factor? That is a very compound problem. And as you noticed, if we go back to question number 8, we start with the first thing,
Mhm.
applying that yield factor of 40%. We end up with 6 pounds. And now we've got 6 pounds, but my servings are 8 ounces. Do my units match? Pounds and ounces? No. But you all passed basic skills, so you know what that
16 ounces
conversion
a pound.
rate is of 16 ounces per pound. And so you can answer this question of how many 8-ounce portions will you get from a 15-pound brisket with a 40% yield factor? 12. Okay, now it is going to go step by step by step. The way that I teach is step by step by step. Okay, so that way, I don't know what it is about this room or classrooms in general, but when you walk out that door, it's like you walk through a force field and you forget everything we talked about over the last hour. And then you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Step by step by step. You need to write things down. Okay. You need to follow along. And if you need to, go back and watch the recording. Okay. That's why I do a live recording of all of my classes. So you can go back and see and follow the step by steps. Maybe you forgot to write something down. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns about this math?
So for. I guess I'm just, oh, okay, never mind. I got it.
Got it? Okay.
I was trying to figure out where the 96 came from.
Yep, the 96 is the number of ounces. We had to convert because our serving size is in ounces, but our weight is still in pounds for the brisket. So we have to figure out how many total ounces do we have so we can divide that number of serving size into it. Yeah. Okay. So now on that same scale of 1 to 5, 5 is still being quantum physics. Okay. How would you rate these math problems?
2, 1, 9, maybe 1, 2.
Well, the math itself is easy, but the wording.
The math itself is easy, but the wording, absolutely. Nayeli, I think you nailed it on the head, okay? The wording, you have to understand. I think that's one reason why I like this class more than teaching maybe like a college algebra, because we're technically solving for X,
Mhm.
but we know what X is. I know that it is a package of salad mix and I have to get 4 ounce servings. I can visualize that. So a lot of the times we can visualize, okay, this cost me $2 to make this. I should sell it for X number of dollars based on what percentage I'm looking for. Okay. So that's one reason why I like and I love this type of a math class versus a theoretical math class where you're graphing and doing. I mean, I like geometry because I like shapes, but beyond that, um, yeah. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Yes.
Gee, you like geometry? What kind of tree would you be?
I'm gonna go on. Okay, Tanner. Sebastian, go ahead.
I would say this question is kind of confusing to me because how I see it is like the pounds, like it's 1 pound, 16 ounces. So in my head, I'm like multiplying 15 times 16.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a great. Sorry, go ahead, finish.
And so like how I processed it, it is like it's 16 times 15, which is 240. No?
Okay.
It is 240, and then 8 ounces portions, which is 30 portions.
Okay.
And then the 40% yield factor, does that mean you divide the total number of ounces?
The 40% is what you get after you're done processing, cooking, and trimming that 12-pound brisket. All right. So in a way, in a sense, if you were to multiply 30 times 40%, you're gonna get 12. I'm almost guarantee you would. Okay. And so if that's the case, because of the way we're doing everything, you have basically just reworked the problem. I'm just doing this real quick. 30 times 0.4, yep, is 12, right? So you get to the same answer, but you just
Different way.
did it in a different way. Yeah.
I don't know if it will make it easier for people, but just to like, so that you're not having to do it later, you could just multiply the 15 by the 16 because that automatically puts it all in ounces
Yeah,
and then go from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I did because I
absolutely.
did that and then multiplied by 4.
Yeah,
And then you
absolutely.
have 8 ounce
Multiply the
portions,
what?
so.
So I'm
The biggest thing in this particular problem is, and what students sometimes have an issue with is that they don't apply the yield factor. So if they do 15 pounds times 16 and then divide by 8, oh, I've got 30 portions, I'm done. But in reality, you're only going to get 12 portions because of that yield factor. That's the issue. That's why whenever I do it step by step, is I apply that yield factor right away, so you don't forget to apply that yield factor. But you could absolutely multiply the 15 by 16 right away and then apply that yield factor. Absolutely.
Wait.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the equation that you wrote on the board.
Uh-huh.
Where does the yield factor fit in?
The yield factor came in right here, the 15 times 0.4. So this was, remember I mentioned 8, 9, and 10 are a step, are building on top of each other.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. So again, I don't want you to get too hung up on this. We're gonna go over, there's gonna be like a whole brisket math assignment. But I just wanted to kind of use this as an exercise to show you this is the type of math we're doing in this class.
Okay.
Okay. There is maybe a couple other types of math that I don't have up on the board, but I'm not in this presentation. But for the most part, this is primarily what we're gonna be looking at for this semester. Okay. All right. So a couple of things as we are wrapping up. I just found out yesterday that I'm supposed to submit for approval all the events I want to do with you all. I just thought I could just go and do them. So I'm looking for official approval. I don't foresee them being any issues. But I'm waiting for official approval. The October the 2nd event, which is the hidden gems, the culinary hidden gems. That event is gonna be open to 21 and up only. I think I mentioned that.
Hidden Gems?
And Hidden Gems, yeah. Did I talk about Hidden Gems?
No,
Oh.
no,
my
tell
goodness.
us.
I got interested, especially when you said 20.
Right.
Like, go on this.
I
That,
think you did in the hospitality.
I did, yeah. Okay, so Hidden Gems is an event on October 2nd. It's gonna be at the Shrine Auditorium up on 1604. It's hosted by the Hotel Lodging Association, the San Antonio Hotel Lodging Association. And it's the whole purpose of the event is to showcase the restaurants that are inside of our hotels. If you're thinking of going out to eat, how many of you think I'm going to the Marriott Hotel? Or going to the Hilton
I go to the St. Anthony's.
or the Hotel Emma,
Mhm.
right? So, I mean, that one's a given. But there are incredible food operations, food and beverage offerings inside of our hotels. And so this event is one that allows the chefs in the hotels to showcase what they're doing on the job in the hotel. So the reason why it's a 21 and up only event is because every chef that participates is going to be doing an appetizer bite and a sample cocktail. Right? So they can't have anybody that's under 21. But I just also found out yesterday that there is to be absolutely no alcohol consumption while wearing a St. Philip's College chef uniform. Okay. So even if you do volunteer at the event, you can enjoy the food, but not the alcohol. Okay. If you don't want to have the restrictions and you want to enjoy the alcohol, then I would recommend purchasing a ticket. Right now, their early bird is $50. It'll be $75 after a couple of weeks. But the event for volunteering, it'll include bussing tables, okay, keeping the dining area clean. And then also running the food from the chef to the judges station. The judges are doing a blind tasting. And so we'll utilize students to help go up to that chef table and say, I'm here for your judges samples. And then you get those and take them over to the judges area.
So is this a grade or is it just class?
No, this is
participation,
volunteering.
Or is it, okay.
It's volunteering.
Extra
Yeah,
credit.
this is extra credit volunteering.
Time is the event hours like.
The event is 6 to 8. It's in the evening.
Perfect,
Yeah.
though, 'cause
I
that's-
think it's 6 to 8.
What day?
October the 2nd. Okay, I will post as soon as I get official approval, I will post a volunteer sign up. Just so I know how many, because it depends on how many volunteers they need, right? They may only need 10 volunteers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's October 2nd. The other one is an event that at Hotel Contessa. Did I tell you all about the street tacos?
Oh, there.
Okay.
You only talked about the
Oh
house.
my gosh, y'all,
Talk
I
about.
have 9 classes. I can't remember what I said, which
How
one.
dare you not
Okay.
remember?
So this one's really important, okay? This is open to anybody that wants to participate. Now, there's only room for 12 people to participate.
Sign me up.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. I don't have a date yet, but they would like to do a street taco cook-off at Hotel Contessa to celebrate Dia de los Muertos. Okay,
Oh.
Let
they
me,
did it for Fiesta in the spring.
my birthday's in October.
They did it in Fiesta for the spring for the first time. We did a trial run. And then they reached out to me and said, we want to do this again, end of October, beginning of November. So they have not given me a date yet. Okay. But when I do the signups, the sign up has to be for an entire team of 3 people. So I'm telling my classes now that if you want to get your team of 3 together, okay, organize your team of 3, I will post when I am going to open the registration. Okay, so 2 different announcements. The first announcement will say, I'm opening the registration on this day at this time. That way, you can crash Canvas, the website, while trying to register at the same time.
Exactly right.
The first 4 teams are going to be registered and the only ones that are fully complete with student names, all 3 email addresses, okay? Those will be the first 4 teams, and then I will have a wait list based on order of signing up, okay? So that will be on, I'll let you know the date on that one. They provide everything. All you have to do is show up with your chef uniform, full uniform, hat, all the way down to shoes, hairnet's included, and your toolkit. They will provide everything else. They have the cooktops, they have the smokers, they have all the proteins, they have all the vegetables, they have everything that you could potentially think of that you would want to put into a taco, maybe even some unique things that you want to put in a taco, right? So the reason why, that way, once I know who those 4 teams are, I can give them some information and maybe you can start thinking about what you want to do, what flavor profiles you want to go with. But again, you won't know until you get there what ingredients are available. Okay, yeah,
So what if we don't want to participate, but we would like to watch?
absolutely, you can still come. Yep, it is open. They are gonna offer complimentary valet parking for the competitors. But if you're not competing, then you either have to pay for parking or just find parking somewhere else. Yep, Yep.
Do you want us to be in black pants or?
doesn't matter to
Okay.
me. Yep.
As long as you have your
Okay.
chef.
Yeah, just your chef uniform. And families and friends can come too. Hey, it's a really cool opportunity. You're out in the patio at Hotel Contessa. And so for them, it's great because how many of you, like, if you're walking downtown somewhere and you see, like, if you were to walk down the sidewalk and you saw like a group of chef coats, what would you do?
Stop.
I'd be like, I'm gonna walk over there. So not only is it gives you guys an opportunity, but as people are walking the river walk, they're gonna stop and be like, oh, what's this place? Oh, we're the Hotel Contessa. We do this. And then we also have dinners here and we also have, food and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great marketing thing for them as well. Okay. So those are the 2 events that I have. The 3rd event is on November the 4th. It's on a Tuesday. Okay. Now, we are not going to have class on that Tuesday because I will be out of town for a conference. But on
In
Tuesday
Manila.
night, upstairs in the 400 rooms, right? 409, 411, the International Live Event Association, ILEA, it's a local chapter of an international event association for event professionals. They want to host their monthly mixer here at St. Philip's, and they want to do like a networking event with you all as students. So events also includes catering. So even if you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's events, I'm a culinary major, there's nothing really for me to do. Nope, there's caterers as part of events. Okay. Also, part of that event, they are going to be providing headshots.
Oh, nice.
So if you want to wear your chef uniform and get your picture taken, and then you can put that on your ACES or your Canvas profile. You can put that on your LinkedIn profile. Or if you want to dress professionally and not be in your chef coat, you can do that as well. They'll be offering complimentary headshots for that event. Okay.
What time is that?
I'll give you all the details on that as soon as they're finalized. But it'll be in the evening on November the 4th, on Tuesday, November the 4th. Okay. Yes.
So, but the national bed making competition?
Yes, oh my goodness, yes, thank you, because this is this class. Oh my gosh. Whew.
Which one is that?
Last one. 4th event. I have so many events. On September the 11th, okay, 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. And I will post the information in Canvas. 2 weeks from today, we are not going to meet in class. We are going to meet at the Alamo Convocation Center, which is over by the zoo. Okay. And we're going to help volunteer with the Sala bed making competition. Alamo Convocation Center.
Applications?
Yeah, I'll send you the address. I'll send you everything in Canvas as an announcement. Okay. But if you know what the parking lot of the parking garage of the zoo is, it's right across the street from the parking garage of the zoo. So it's relatively close to here. Okay. If you have a class that gets out at 2, or 1:45, 1:55, I understand you might be a few minutes late. That's okay. But basically what we're gonna do from 2 to 3 o'clock is the end of the competition for the bed making competition. And so what our responsibility is going to do is to basically refolding and resetting the sheets. So a housekeeper is going to make the bed as fast as they can, as neatly as they can. And then it's going to be judged. And then as soon as the judge says, yep, I'm good, I've got it all down, then we work as classmates, as teams to strip it all down, fold everything up and get it ready for the next competitor. Okay, so you can wear shorts, you can wear like a St. Philip's College t-shirt or like a blue shirt. You can wear your chef uniforms if you're coming from lab, that's totally fine. It can be a little bit more casual. The theme is also sports. Okay, it's a very broad theme. The theme is sports. So you can wear your favorite sports team, a t-shirt or like a jersey from your favorite sports team. If you want to do that, it really kind of is just up to you. Okay. But we will not even be here because I'm actually going to be over there all day from 9 o'clock until after our class is done. Okay. It's not mandatory, but it's very strongly encouraged. Yeah, it is very strongly encouraged, but it is not mandatory. So if you have concerns about transportation, if you have, I don't know, like if you, because our class gets out at 3. If you have a class that's back here, and you think it's going to be a hard time for you to get there and then get back for class, then I would say just stay here for your class. So it's not 100% mandatory, but I do recommend you go. It is, even if you're not a hotel person, it is so much fun. And by the time y'all get there, will be the final round. And those housekeepers are in it to win it.
I want to see
The
that.
housekeeper that wins gets $500 cash. So they are in it to win it.
How do we sign up for this?
What's that?
I'm just saying.
And so,
More participation.
so yeah, so they it's a really fun, very high energy environment. Like I said, I'm gonna be there from 9 o'clock when my first class is there. We're gonna help set up. My 10 o'clock class is gonna help with registration and the start of the competition, and y'all are gonna come in and finish the competition. And whatnot. So those are the 4 events. And I think that is it. Yes.
What day is that?
It's Thursday, September the 11th. So it is a Thursday.
Yeah, I have because I just came from lab, obviously. My lab ends at 1:45.
That's fine.
so-
So if you're there at like 2:15, 2:15, that's totally fine.
I was gonna say, because I kind of just
Just-
go see that.
When y'all get there, it's gonna be more about just jumping in, finding a hole and helping.
Will everybody be participating or is it just kind of
Whoever gets there and just
What do you
jump in.
whoever, say everybody gets there before I do?
Yeah.
I get there, everyone's already doing it.
There's
Okay,
always
so
something.
There's
for
something
people
for
to do.
everybody. Okay,
Yep,
cool.
there is.
That's what I was trying to find out. I was
Yep,
like,
there is. All right, so we do have time for your quiz. I'm gonna open your quiz in Canvas. It's gonna be open until 3:15. Okay, so give me a moment to get it all set up. It'll be open until 3:15 and then it will close automatically at 3:15. Okay,